Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Roy Rogers's world was shaken forever when his beloved wife passed away from heart failure just 3 years after he revealed a deeply personal secret that stunned fans and forever reshaped the public's understanding of the legendary cowboy couple. The news of her death sent shockwaves through the entertainment community, stirring up memories of the emotional confession Roy shared late in life, one that he had carried for decades. As fans look back on the heartbreaking timeline that unfolded, the combination of love, regret, resilience, and revelation paints a powerful picture of two icons whose bond transcended the screen and reached into the hearts of millions. The tragedy that unfolded wasn't just about the loss of a Hollywood star, it was about a love story built on faith, loyalty, and the complicated truths that only come to light when time forces them out of the shadows. When Roy Rogers, the king of the cowboys, sat down for what would become one of his most vulnerable interviews, no one expected the confession that followed. With his signature calm demeanor, he opened up about a lifelong guilt he had kept hidden from the public, one involving the profound regret he felt regarding his personal life, the pressures of fame, and the choices he made during the height of his career. He revealed that for years he felt he had failed his family in moments when they needed him most. The guilt stemmed from early career decisions that pulled him away from home, from moments where fame demanded everything, leaving his loved ones to adapt without him. It didn't matter that he had later become a devoted husband and father, the memories of what he missed haunted him quietly, shaping his later years in ways few truly understood. Fans were shocked. Co-stars were stunned. Even longtime friends admitted they had never heard him speak so openly. His wife, who had always stood by him with unwavering love, offered her public support, calling his confession the truth he needed to set free. Her grace in that moment only deepened the world's admiration for her. But behind the scenes, those who knew the couple privately say the revelation brought years of buried emotion to the surface. For the first time, the public saw them not as perfect Hollywood heroes, but as two deeply human souls navigating the weight of past choices and the fragile nature of life. Just 3 years later, tragedy struck when Roy's wife died suddenly of heart failure. The loss was devastating, not only because she was an icon in her own right, but because her passing came at a time when Roy was still healing from the emotional weight of his confession. Those close to him said he was never the same. The grief hit him with a force no one could have prepared for. On the day the heartbreaking news was announced, Hollywood paused. Tributes poured in from around the world, from longtime fans who had grown up watching them to younger generations who had discovered their enduring love story through old reruns and documentaries. Her legacy was undeniable. She wasn't just Roy Rogers's wife, she was a trailblazing entertainer, a humanitarian, a woman of faith, and a symbol of grace in the golden age of Hollywood. But beneath the public grief was Roy's private devastation. He reportedly struggled to accept her death, often saying she had been the rock of his entire life. After decades of stardom, he confessed that losing her felt like losing the world itself. Friends revealed that Roy spent hours revisiting old photos, love letters, and memories of their happiest days. Their marriage had always been filled with a quiet but powerful devotion, and even in difficult times, their bond never fractured. Her death came with another layer of heartbreak. Roy believed that his emotional confession years earlier had weighed heavily on her heart. Though there was no medical evidence to support such a connection, emotionally he felt responsible, another burden he carried privately. Yet he also found moments of comfort knowing she left behind a legacy rooted in kindness. She had devoted her life to helping children, supporting charities, and providing warmth to anyone who crossed her path. In the years following her passing, Roy dedicated himself to honoring her legacy. He appeared in fewer public events, choosing instead to focus on preserving the charitable foundations she had helped build. He spoke often of her compassion, her enormous strength, and her ability to forgive, a trait he admired most deeply. Their love story, now marked by both confession and tragedy, took on new meaning. Fans revisiting interviews, documentaries, and biographies began to understand the couple in a more human light. They were no longer just the smiling faces atop galloping horses in classic westerns, they were a couple who had weathered storms with faith, who had loved fiercely despite fame's pressures, and who ultimately faced their deepest heartbreak together. Her death from heart failure became one of the most sorrowful chapters in Roy Rogers's life, but it also became the foundation for the emotional tributes that followed. Those who knew her described her as a woman with a heart big enough to heal others while hiding her own aches. Those who admired her from afar remembered her as a symbol of goodness in an industry often focused on glamour. And to Roy, she remained the love of his life, a woman who stood by him in every season, through guilt, confession, faith, fame, and finally, loss. To this day, fans continue to revisit Roy Rogers's confession and the heartbreaking years that followed. The story serves as a reminder that even legends carry burdens. Even icons face regrets. And even the strongest love stories can be touched by tragedy. But it also reveals something far greater, a legacy built not only on success but on honesty, vulnerability, and a love that left a permanent mark on Hollywood history. Roy Rogers's wife may have passed away, but the impact of her life, and the tenderness of their story, lives on in every tribute, every memory, and every fan who still feels the ache of that final goodbye.